Another senseless act of violence took place, this time on the campus of Morgan State University. While the time to celebrate the pageantry and beauty of these students was temporarily suspended, the Morgan State family is remaining Morgan strong. The Bears of Morgan State are resilient as they take the field for the first time in 2 weeks here at Hughes Stadium, facing off against the 9th-ranked team in FCS, the North Carolina Central Eagles, coming in at 5-1. As we say hello and welcome you in with the former Howard University and NFL quarterback Jay Walker, I'm Tiffany Green. And when you think about what happened just a couple of weeks ago and you fast forward to now, how does Morgan State prepare themselves for MEAC play?
Well, obviously going into conference play in such a condensed schedule, you knew things were going to be a little bit uncomfortable. But for the Bears, being off that extra week, having a game canceled last week, we'll see if it helps or hurts them. Never hurts to rest your players, but Coach Damon Wilson thinks the Bears have to bring an A-plus effort tonight. And
when they go up against the reigning HBCU national champions in North Carolina Central, they get it done on every phase of the game.
Yeah, the pride of HBCU football thus far. Top 10 ranking, the #1 ranked team in HBCU football, defending national champions. That's big because they want to defend their title. And the best chance of them defending their title is the play of their All-American quarterback, Davius Richard. If you want to have a championship caliber football team, it starts with the trigger man, and Davius Richard is one of the best in the country. NFL scouts love all the things he brings to the table. The ability to throw the ball accurately down the field, and his running style drives defenses crazy.
One of the top runners in the MEAC. We will see that on display tonight. And when we take a look at the series history, North Carolina Central has won the last 5. You have to go back to October 18th of 2014 when Morgan won it here. Back at home, the Bears lead the series all time.
And one of the things I would say early on as you take a good look at head coach, North Carolina Central coach Trey Oliver, is they're not settling for just having a good start. You know, they said, hey, we won the preseason, but we don't care about the preseason. We want to win the regular season and make it to the Cricket Celebration Bowl.
On the other sideline is Damon Wilson in his second season as the head coach. Had a very successful career at a nearby D2 institution, and Damon Wilson says, we are here to build this program. They captured a really big win to start the season against an FCS contender, and Damon Wilson says, don't let the record fool you. This team is better than you think.
Absolutely. You talk about coming off that great victory versus Richmond, who was ranked in the top 20 at the time, and then followed up in a heartbreak loss to the University of Akron, where the Bears could have won big games early to start the season. Ever since then, they've been trying to recover and have not been able to put it together. But as we mentioned before, conference play in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference starts right now.
North Carolina Central wins the toss. They elected to defer, so Morgan State will receive the ball first. North Carolina Central has amassed an outstanding record yet again, coming off a 10-win season, just the third time in program history they had reached double-digit wins. And this team once more is carrying over that momentum from that Cricket Celebration Bowl win last December against a very good Jackson State team. Juan Velarde is set to kick it off, and Keith Jenkins sees it fly and zip into the end zone, a touchback. And a first look at this Morgan State offense. For Morgan State, one of the things that we learned from the coaches earlier in the week, that they said, plain and simple, we've got to get our offense going.
They have to. They come in this game averaging just under 14 points a game, and Dominique Anthony, the quarterback, is the guy that can make it go. They want him to be in control of the running game, but he also has to do a little bit better job throwing the football. The 50-50 touchdown to interception ratio won't get it done. He has to protect the football here tonight versus one of the best defenses he'll see.
It's been a quarterback carousel for Morgan State. We've seen 4 different signal callers for the Bears Dominique Anthony, the sophomore, getting the start tonight, gaining some more experience with Carson Baker out earlier in the season. The first pass, and it's deflected along that defensive front for North Carolina Central, and Cole Jones may have come in from his rover spot to get a hand on it.
Well, you see going off the play action. You have to find a throwing lane right there, and a good job by number 17, Cole Jones, watching the quarterback's eyes, because there was an open wide receiver behind him. If he doesn't make that pass breakup, could have been a big play to start the game for the Bears.
The Bears searching for more offense than last week. Just put up 3 points in that loss to Yale on 2nd and 10. Dumps it underneath and finds his intended target. A gain of about 5 on the play as the pass was complete to Andre Crawley.
Yeah, this is the situation. You're glad you got the completion on 2nd down. 3rd and 5 is manageable, but this is where North Carolina Central really likes to unleash, particularly number 50, Thomas Johnson, their pass rush extraordinaire.
On 3rd and 5. Looking, Anthony feels pressure, escapes the pocket, running for the first down, spun around near that marker, and I think it's going to be good enough. They're going to move the chains.
Yeah, great job of playing quarterback by Dominique Anthony. And the key thing here, doesn't like what he sees on the right, makes a quick decision, says, I can run for this football, shows the athleticism to get the necessary yardage to keep the offense on the field.
Anthony, who has run for just 42 yards on the season, has the ability to run, can mix it up with the pass as well. Drops back once more, flares it out, and overthrows his intended target, J.J. Davis, who was well guarded.
Yeah, and what you have to wonder right now, J.J. Davis is their best football player, right? They want to get him the ball on offense, but you're coming out against North Carolina Central, 4 straight pass plays. I don't know if that's the recipe for a successful offensive game against this defense. They'll settle for you throwing the ball. North Carolina Central came in here worried about the rushing attack of Morgan State University.
That's what we heard from the coaches this week. What's B.T. Sherman going to draw up here on 2nd and 10 from the 35. Looking, pass complete, and that's J.J. Davis. This time hauls it in for a gain of 4.
Getting completions, trying to stay ahead of the chain. So once again, they find themselves in a 3rd and manageable situation, really relying heavily on the right arm of Dominique Anthony.
Just taking their time and trying to make sure they dial up the right play here on 3rd down. Trying to stay ahead of the chains. One of the keys for Morgan State. Can they convert once more on 3rd down? And yes, they're able to do so as the pass complete and into the hands of Demir Shipley. Gain of 16 and another first down.
And a good job by the offensive line establishing a clean pocket so that the quarterback can read the curl flat combination, able to throw a strike and pick up a nice first down on this drive. Look at that protection. Oh, quarterback, you give me that. Give me that. Nobody close to the ankles, room to step into the throw cleanly. Good job by the guys up front.
Across midfield, ball placed on the 44-yard line of North Carolina Central. They hand it off. On the ground, it's Jabril Johnson. Johnson, a player who has been in this system, has played under a few different coaches, and the senior on the rushing attempt, first of the night for the Bears.
And they picked up 6 yards on it. And the offensive line seems like they're able to match the physical nature of North Carolina's defensive front. We saw the great pass protection. We see them leaning forward, picking up great yardage on first down, running the football.
Johnson remaining in the backfield. In motion, a player, and flipped out and quickly into the hands of Abdou Diop. And Diop, the tight end, they like to use him in a number of different ways. And Diop continuing to help this Bears drive continue.
Watch the tight ends blocking for each other. So you're going to get the ball to a tight end. But take a look right there at the line of scrimmage on the contact. Great downfield blocking by Shipley, the big wide receiver. I thought he was a tight end, but good job of getting to that second level.
and moving the ball effectively through the air on this opening drive for Morgan State. You mentioned them wanting to lean a little bit more on the ground game, switching things up. And here on the first down carry, and a good pickup from Jabril Johnson once more. He was banged up recently. Happy to have him back into action as he picks up half the yardage for the down.
Yeah, the offensive line continues to impress. As you'll see, all you need is one crease, one cut upfield, picking up more positive yardage on first down running plays. Great start for the offensive unit from Morgan State University.
10th play of the drive upcoming on this opening possession of the game. Morgan State taking more than 4 minutes off the clock and counting. Once again, into the hands of Johnson, and Johnson sprinting through. And Johnson now on the 15-yard line, and a fresh set of downs for the Bears.
And this is how they have them on their heels. Only 5 guys in the box to stop the run. And when you have that, it's a number count situation. The offensive line should win. Good hard running from the running back. Right now, they're just drawing it up. You've only got one inside linebacker. Safety gets there too late. Another positive running play from Morgan State.
Consistency. That's what Damon Wilson wanted to see from his group. Not an indication of what they saw last week, but the pressure coming from Jabril Johnson, as Quantez Mansfield was right there in his face, and no gain on the play.
This is a time when you see the Eagle defense make the adjustment. They went to a 4-3 front, respecting the running game. You like to see them get out of it. You see the linebackers that are there stacked close to the line of scrimmage, really nowhere to go as they stretch this run to the outside. If you get that same type of look, you've got to throw the football and trust your quarterback, Dominique Anthony, to make a play.
Second and 10 inside the red zone. Anthony looking back to pass, has a man, and Shipley created separation in the end zone, but the ball overthrown.
Yeah, that's that shot you want. One-on-one coverage. They're paying attention to the running game. You go to the outside, you've got a nice big target in Shipley at 6'4", and you overthrow the 6'4" wide receiver. In college football today, you don't overthrow wide receivers that tall. You give them that 50-50 jump ball chance to either get a penalty or come down with a great catch.
Anthony, 4 of 7 so far on this drive for 35 yards through the air.
Protect the football, 3rd and long. The key is to come away on this drive with points on the board.
Puts it up again, this time out of bounds. And 4th down upcoming, and the kicking unit coming on. Jason Chambers was on the coverage there of Travion Pratt.
You have to give him a chance to make the play. Look where this ball lands. This ball lands about 5 yards out of bounds. Even if he comes up with a great play, he's over there by the track. I think the last 2 throws are ones that Dominique Anthony wished he could have back. Inaccurate.
The junior out of Fulton, Maryland, Beckett Leary, on to attempt the 32-yard field goal. Trying to get the Bears on the board first, and is successful in doing so. So Morgan State on their opening drive results in a field goal. They're up 3-0. Welcome to ESPN College Football, presented by McDonald's. Thursday night from the Charm City, Baltimore, Maryland. And the Morgan State Bears hop out to a 3-0 lead. Thursday night, got to bring out the band. They're certainly ready to strike it up as many times as they can tonight. Morgan State trying to get some revenge on last year's MEAC champions, North Carolina Central. They went into the home of the Eagles, and Damon Wilson said, hey, I didn't like that feeling. That was not a good feeling.
You know, I thought it was a version of the champions played like the champions that day. I mean, North Carolina Central was a much better football team than Morgan State was a season ago, and it showed in the score.
Brandon Codrington on the return. A good return from Codrington, out past the 25, just short of the 30. A 23-yard return for Codrington, and we'll get a chance to introduce you once again to Davius Richard. Jay Walker, you called him the best player in all of HBCU football, but he is right up there in the ranks of FCS as well. Richard has continued to grow, coming off of all the great accolades from MEAC Offensive Player of the Year, the Celebration Bowl MVP as well. He keeps getting better.
Yeah, and that picture you see right there in the corner, he's going to look like that the whole game. That's one of the best strengths he has. Never gets too high, never gets too low, plays at an even keel, and the game moves slowly to him, which makes him so dangerous.
Pass complete to Luke Bracey on his first attempt, and talking about that thermostat mentality, adopts that from his head coach Trey Oliver, saying we have to keep that throughout games, never getting too high or too low, not adding any pressure to try to win. After that gain of 8, sets up second and short from the Eagles, 36. Looking again to the right side, that one deflected at the line of scrimmage, and it's going to bring up third down.
And this is the time where I think you look to Mookie Collier. You know, when you talk about North Carolina Central, what we've seen them do, they have more star power than they had a season ago. Davius Richard gets all the accolades, but his running back in the backfield, Latrell Mookie Collier, one of the best runners, and he loves situations like this. Third and short yardage situation, Collier finds ways to get it done.
We'll see if they hand it off to the leading rusher in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Collier instead sprints out, tries to block for his quarterback, Davius Richard, who is tussled and thrown backwards. The great play of the defense, and that was Jordan Toll's loss of 3.
When you got a quarterback that can run as hard as Davius Richard, cannot blame the offensive coordinator, Matt Leone, trying to run him. But this is just great defense and aggressive defense by Morgan State.
Well, Morgan State defense sports the best in the conference in terms of scoring defense. They are formidable for sure, and trying to create havoc on the defense is what they've been successful with thus far. On 4th and 5, a fair catch after that 41-yard punt and no return. We'll come back here to Hughes Stadium with the Bears on their second drive when we return.
Is presented by McDonald's.
The Inner Harbor here in Baltimore. A beautiful fall night on this Thursday. We'll check out Saturday night. Brings us number 16, Duke, and their dominating defense looking to slow down number 4, Florida State, in a huge game out of the ACC and national title ramifications. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern on ABC and the ESPN app. And how about the magnificent marching machine getting revved up here at Hughes Stadium? I like that name, Magnificent Marching Machine. I want you to say it fast 5 times for me.
That's your job, partner.
No. Like that alliteration there. On first down, looking, and Anthony, his pass incomplete to Pratt. And flags come out there in the backfield. And it's likely going to go against Morgan State.
Holding. Offense. Number 71. 10-yard penalty.
That one going against the true freshman Kahari Finley out of nearby Clinton, Maryland.
Yep, Clinton down in southern Prince George's County, but Kahari Finley's a guy that I think North Carolina Central knows he's on the field. Because when you talk to them, they said they've got a true freshman starting at left tackle. He can play really great, and then sometimes he can play like a freshman, picking up a hold on first down.
Backs him up, they hand it off here on 1st and 20, and really not much room to run. A gain of about 2. As J.J. Davis was stopped by Manny Smith.
And offensive coordinator B.T. Sherman really calling a very unconventional game. Coming out, throwing the ball. Then when you get an obvious pass situation, he wants to run the football on 1st and 20. Now, if you're a defensive coordinator, second 20, what are you thinking? Just keep it in front of you. I don't know what's coming. Don't allow them to pop a big run. Let's see if your guys in the box can get the job done for you.
Well, Courtney Cord has a very experienced secondary, so they're trying to keep everything in front for sure, and that pass leads J.J. Davis to the ground. And 3rd and long upcoming.
It's college football, and sometimes when you look at records, now on this drive, Morgan looks like a 1-4 team. They look great on the opening drive, had control of the line of scrimmage, everything was clicking. Now they're moving backwards and can't get out of their own way. And unless they come up with a big play, you're going to give North Carolina Central really good field position if they get the ball back.
As we mentioned, they've rotated through a number of different quarterbacks. We saw Tosh Smith and Deuce Taylor on the sideline, getting in the calls on 3rd and long here. Dominique Anthony moving out to his left, looking, keeping his eyes downfield, and the pass is complete. Wow, what a throw in to Travion Pratt, who hauls it in.
They say the prevent defense can prevent the defense from making a big play, and this is just an outstanding play by Dominique Anthony, the quarterback. Look at him buying time, going to his left, turns the shoulders and throws a dime down the field to Pratt. Just a good time of getting open, turns the defensive back, makes the play, and Dominique Anthony making this team look good.
28-yard completion, and North Carolina Central spins a timeout. We're after the longest play of the game thus far. Morgan State moving the ball well once again. As Trey Oliver talking to his group, trying to ask them to bring out that championship defense. It's been a bend but don't break at times for North Carolina Central, but when they've needed to make the plays, Courtney Cord, the defensive coordinator, says they've stepped up and shown grit and toughness when we've needed it.
Yeah, just gave up a huge 3rd and 23, though. You had an offense on the ropes going in the wrong direction. One guy breaks contain, and you see what happens. And Courtney Cord is looking like he's not too pleased with that play there. You can't give it away like that. Take a look at the HBCU power rankings, and North Carolina Central clearly number 1, Florida A&M clearly number 2. We'll talk about the rest on the other side of this play.
Many believe Central and Florida A&M could very well meet at the end of the season. A lot to be determined between now and then, as the stop made by Taylor to Jabril Johnson and Thomas Johnson.
You got to point this out. How about number 3? I see you right now. Big Blue, Tennessee State University. The job Eddie George is doing, winning some football games. Those fans need to get behind that football team. They're playing very well. Jackson State drops the spot after the loss. And watch out for Prairie View A&M. They're trying to sneak in there. Bubba McDowell has the Panthers playing well.
On the bubble, you had Benedict College, Division II, Chinnesbury, doing an amazing job trying to run through the SIAC once again, along with Alcorn State. Let's talk about this offensive distribution thus far from Dominique Anthony. 6 completions to 5 different receivers. Hands it off here and having success up the middle as Jabril Johnson trucks Cole Jones on that run, gain of 7.
And this is what you call good hard running. And once again, the offensive line washing down white jerseys, making space, creating space for the running back Jabril Johnson. And this is how you want to run. Don't go down with first contact. You love it when a running back has 2 or 3 jersey guys pulling him down to the ground.
3rd and short, got to get to the 49 of North Carolina Central. Hard running once again by Johnson, the extra effort, and it's a first down.
This offensive line is playing inspired football. If they can eliminate the penalty, you can simplify the game. Right now, they have the advantage of being able to say, we're just going to count the numbers. Until North Carolina Central is willing to sell out and bring that 3rd guy in for run support, they're going to run the football.
That's helped them spark conversions on 3rd down when needed. 4 of 5 tonight.
Look at this box. Now Central's like, okay, that's enough. We're going to crowd the line of scrimmage and make you throw the football.
And what do they do? Into the hands. Dominique Anthony finds a man, and Shipley, who hurdles the defender. And correction, that's Anthony James Jr. for that gain of 6. Let's take a look at it again.
Yeah, just a quick flip. They're bringing the free safety down, Manny Smith, for run support. And look at the athleticism by the big fella on the edge.
Anthony James, 210 pounds. Had 10 catches coming into tonight's game. Number 11 made the crowd go ooh for a little bit. Just over 3 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Morgan State driving the ball down the field well once again. And the handoff to Miles Myree. And Myree was stopped. A number of white jerseys were there to stop him. Loss of 1. You can thank Kendrick DeJour for that. DeJour, who is expected to have a strong showing tonight in this game. That was something that his D coordinator challenged him with. And Courtney Cord has seen him as twin. Great story between the two, has really taken him under his wing and helped him to flourish. Another third down upcoming. Can the Bears convert? Right at the sticks, the pass into the hands of Shipley, and Shipley is going to be about a yard short. I think they're going to mark him at the 39-yard line.
Ooh,
so now decision time for Damon Wilson. And
you go for it. I think in this situation, yard short, you're in no man's land. What do you gain if you put the ball into the end zone? Not a lot of yards. Your offensive line's done a really good job controlling the line of scrimmage. Can't question this call at all.
And the play was whistled dead as a timeout taken by Morgan State. They'll talk it over once more. We'll take a break with them. Come right back with us to Baltimore. Welcome back to ESPN College Football presented by McDonald's. An important decision upcoming here as the replay booth is reviewing the spot of where the ball is on this catch by Demir Shipley.
Yeah, they needed to get to the 38-yard line. Looks like he got a little bit closer than they spotted him for. And upon, if they're taking a look at it, they want to make sure he secured the football all the way through the catch as well. So they've got a couple things to look at. I thought the spot was short, but then when I saw that replay,
now it looks like
he control the football all the way through. And the rule is if you leave your feet, you must control the football through the catch. So if we can, let's take a look to see. I'm not worried about the spot now. Now let's take a look and see, does he control the football all the way through? Keep in mind, he's leaving his feet. So not denying that's a catch, but he's airborne. When you're airborne, you have to cane. I think that ball moves a little bit. Yeah. I would not be surprised if they overturned it.
Greg Edwards and his crew upstairs, the replay official looking once more, and when the ball meets the field, it looks like there is some movement there for sure. Is there enough visual evidence there, Jay, to overturn it?
By the rule, I think so. I don't think that's a catch because that's why they have it. If you leave your feet, you must control the ball through the finish of the play, through the whistle of the play when you're down there. And I think he left his feet. It was a great individual effort, but I think that ball moved, and I don't think this catch is going to hold up.
It appears if he had maybe secured it and brought it into his body, it would have remained a catch. But because he was trying to stretch out toward that first down marker, the ball appeared to have moved.
I love HBCU football. They're like, cut the DJ. DJ, cut it off.
Derek Hatton's still waiting, by the way. A little cameo love inside Hughes Stadium.
Of a catch has been reviewed. Replay has determined that the pass was incomplete. It'll be 4th down at the 43-yard line.
So they overturn the call. The incompletion now sets up 4th down, and that changes the strategy where you were thinking about potentially going for it on 4th and 1. Now you bring your punting unit on.
When calling a timeout goes bad.
Yeah.
You know, I thought they would have got it with the run play, but they elected to call the timeout. Now they have to punt the ball away.
First time we're seeing Shane Messenger, the true freshman. Gets it up, and can he pin the Eagles inside the 20? Yes, as Codrington calls for a fair catch after that 25-yard punt. We talked about Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference play starting off tonight, and Central currently leading the pack 5-1. That's all non-conference though, folks. Tonight is when it really matters most.
And I think a lot of those teams were projected to be this way, projected order of finish. But the surprise to me, Norfolk State, those 2 wins that they've got, pretty good quality wins that they were able to achieve. So they seem to be trending in the right direction. They've got a big one coming up on Saturday as they take on Howard University.
It's one of those things where, in speaking with the coaches, it's clear North Carolina Central is the team to beat, and they are playing like it. What did Trey Oliver tell us? He said, look, we're not a one-hit wonder. We're here to stay, as Davius Richard on 1st down elects the RPO to keep it himself, and he's wrapped up by a number of gray jerseys. Gain of 6.
This is how you play the quarterback position, running the option. Now, I couldn't do this. I could talk to you about the options and the keys that go along with it. So what you're supposed to do is attack the in man on the line of scrimmage. When he doesn't commit, as you see him go to the left side of your screen, he's looking. That guy's standing flat-footed. Hold on to the football, pick up positive yards on 1st down. A little small play like that, but that lets you know his high football IQ to fundamentally do the right thing while running the option.
We're coming into tonight, 348 yards gained on the ground by Davius Richard, one of the top rushers in the MEAC. Calls his own number once again, scrambling away, and he's a tough guy to bring down, and he's finally stopped. Davius Richard picking up the first down of the night for the Eagles.
They had him bottled up pretty good here on this quarterback draw. And you see him, look at him just run through. Trying to tackle him high, he runs through would-be tacklers and picks up the necessary yardage.
The senior out of Belle Glade, Florida, has grown tremendously since his freshman year when Trey Oliver took over as the head coach back in 2019. Last play of the quarter, Latrell Collier gets stuck right there, and the play made by Jordan Johnson. That brings us to the end of the first quarter here from Morgan State University, and right now they have a 3-0 advantage over the defending champs in HBCU football. A strong showing for the Bears in this opening quarter. Come back with us for more action on the other side.
At Nutro, we believe in growing healthy dogs. Our nutritious food is made with high-quality, natural ingredients to help dogs live full and active lives. Let's grow healthy dogs.
At the Cracker Barrel, freshly made food at a fair price is just what we do. In fact, we've got over 20 meals under $12, each served with a helping of care. Cracker Barrel, take care now.
With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers across the country, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care. Here to be the fuel that keeps you firing on all cylinders. Right now at Napa, get a 5-quart jug of Napa Premium Conventional Motor Oil for only $15.99. Or claim a $50 Visa card when you spend at least $250 on Napa brand brakes.
The cheese dog is born. Boom!
It's easy to get lost in investment research. Introducing JP Morgan Personal Advisors.
Hey, David.
Connect with an advisor to create your personalized plan.
Let's find the right investments for your goals.
Okay, great.
JP Morgan Wealth Management.
Your first home sees a lot of firsts. From first loves to first steps. Sure, it can be a handful at times, keeping you up at night.
Come on now.
But with help from the Home Depot, you'll find the confidence to create the first place you call your own. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Some people just know what road to take. Those are the people who know to choose Allstate.
The service road is faster.
Turn left.
Not happening.
He knows better than any GPS, and he'd point you in Allstate's direction.
Go all the way down the road past the big gray warehouse.
Take the next exit.
You're not from around here, so you don't know the back roads.
I don't want to be late for the party.
I'm going to save us 5 minutes.
Some people just know what road to take.
You're on the fastest route.
Those are the people who know safe drivers save 40% with Allstate.
Sometimes Jonah wrestles with falling asleep, so he takes ZQL, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, for a better night's sleep. So now, he wakes up feeling like himself, the reigning Family Room middleweight champion. Better days start with ZQL nights.
Meet Milo. He's part border collie and part party animal. Meet the new Bissell Little Green Hydro Steam Pet. It's part steam-powered stain remover and part party animal patrol. Bissell, a new breed of clean.
NBA Opening Week begins next Wednesday and continues Friday on ESPN.
Coach, your team moved the ball well in that opening quarter. What did you see out of your offense, and particularly from Dominic Anthony?
Well, young guys are giving them an opportunity to throw the ball downfield, which is good. You know, we're starting pretty much 3 freshmen offensive linemen, and I did a good job of protecting a little bit and giving them opportunity to throw the ball.
Talk about your team's intensity right now, taking on the #1 ranked team in HBCU football. What'd you say to get them fired up, and what are you seeing from them?
To be honest, Jay, I didn't have to say too much anything, man. These guys understand what's at stake. This first conference game, and that's a long game. You know, we got a lot of football ahead of us, but so far, so good.
Thanks, Coach.
You got it.
Damon Wilson, the leader of the Morgan State Bears football team, and the leader of Morgan State University, Dr. David Wilson, joining us now in the booth. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your time.
Tiffany, it's a pleasure being here, and welcome to the National Treasure.
Oh, the National Treasure. Well, I got to first ask about just the events of homecoming and how Morgan State has moved forward and really helped to strengthen and unify this body.
Well, you know, we made the tough decision that we made. It indeed was a tough decision. It was the right decision. And we got an outpouring of support from our alums and others around the world for the decision that we made. And we're so happy now to see that our campus is back to full force. And you can see the high spirit here on campus from our students and alums are back. They were tailgating today. And so this is what it means to be Morgan Strong.
Absolutely. You know, one of the things about it, President, is, you know, I'm a Maryland guy. And I'm telling you, I am in awe of how beautiful this campus is at Morgan State. It's not the Morgan State of old. This is one of the best-looking HBCUs in the country. You must be proud.
I'm enormously proud. We have a very strong team here at Morgan. We have, I think, one of the most dedicated and committed faculty that you will find in all of higher education. And, of course, we have students here from all 50 states, 70 countries. And during my presidency, we have now eclipsed $1.2 billion in all of our capital facilities and improvements.
I want to say you're welcome, but you've done a good job with it all there. And I know, you know, you're a big academic guy. You graduated from the HBCU down there in Tuskegee, Alabama. But when we get a chance, I want to talk about all the fantastic academic programs that you're always boasting to me in America about.
Okay. Yes,
penalty marker.
So we are, of course, we have over 145 academic degree programs here. There are so many programs where we are #1 or #2 in the nation in producing African American graduates. We are #1 in the United States in producing African Americans in electrical engineering, in civil engineering, and industrial engineering. We also, #2 in producing blacks in journalism, Jay, and so many other fields, if you will. I often say that if we were having a conversation in the country about producing a competitive, diverse workforce, and Morgan State University is not in the room in that conversation. It's not a serious conversation.
Among the things that I was impressed with in going around the campus and seeing some of the newness about it, it was learning too about the student union and the architectural design and how students were involved in that process to help build it and design it rather.
Yes, if you come to the campus, you can see that you will not find a red brick building on that campus, and that's because Morgan is actually built on a quarry, and the original buildings here were actually erected with the stone from that quarry. And so we have, with a high degree of intentionality, really erected the new buildings on campus. We've involved our students in the planning process, but they're all designed, if you will, to not fight with each other in terms of design and functionality.
All right, Dr. Wilson, we're here at the football game. You know, I'm a football guy.
The football game, yeah.
Football team is making you look good right now. They're trying to defend the national treasure versus the national HBCU reigning champions. What do we look for in terms of the future of athletics here at Morgan State University?
I am very, very excited with where our athletics program is under the leadership of Dina Freeman Patton, our Vice President and Director of Athletics. With Coach Wilson in his second year, I'm very, very pleased with the progress that the team has made, because his first year was almost like a half a season. And then we're looking to invest more in athletic facilities. We've just acquired 59 acres of property here at the university, Jay. And our first building there, Tiffany, is really going to be like a convocation events center, who knows, maybe about $150 million. And then we're looking to renovate existing facilities, to enlarge them. We want Morgan athletically to be just as prominent as we are academically.
Well, here on 3rd and 20, the defense showing their prominence on the field. That unit has been so strong for you all throughout the season. It brings up 4th down, and we'll get a chance to see Morgan State on offense once again. Dr. Wilson, thank you so much for your time and sharing the goodness and the good news about Morgan State and this national treasure for our national audience.
Thank you very much for having me. Look forward to having you guys back soon.
Thank you.
You know, he got me, Tiff. Anytime I can talk to a president, and he's talking about athletics and he knows what the plan is, because it always say leadership starts at the top. So often we hear people say, we want to do this stuff. I'm like, well, did your president say it or not? And so that's how you kind of follow that lead.
And the ball was fumbled. It was bobbled on the fair catch and snatched away, and North Carolina Central grabs the football. Miller making the play on the field. There's a flag down as well, as Marseille Miller came up with it.
Well, what an inopportune time. You talk about a defense that's been playing fired up. You force the punt, trying to get the fair catch. All he has to do is just field it cleanly. Oh, wow. That is a turnover. Special teams let down. And when you're trying to pull off the upset, you cannot have plays like this.
You've got to play mistake-free football. And the challenge to this group this week was to not turn the ball over. The officiating crew still discussing, as Damon Wilson would very much like to see a call go in his favor for his team.
Was the flag maybe not giving him enough room to make the catch on the fair catch? But that just seemed like that was just a drop. I mean, he had room to do it and off the ricochet make the catch. So
During the kick catch interference. Kicking team, 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Receiving team, number 2. That'll be enforced half the distance to the goal. 1st down, Morgan State.
I don't know. I mean, if he makes this catch, I don't think they make any call at all there.
We'll settle it on the other side as Morgan State fortunate to get the ball back. We'll talk about it more when you come back. Kick off your Week 7 NFL Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Countdown crew on ESPN and the app. They'll have the early breaking stories, injury updates, and previews of each game right up to kick off. Well, back on the field, and Morgan State benefiting from a kick-catch interference. And Jay, we got further explanation from Andre Lowe, the head of MEAC officials. The carry on first down, and a good pickup from Jabril Johnson, but we learned they were in a space, basically.
Yeah, the rule is you have to give him 1 yard, all the way around 1 yard, and you see there, he's a yard inside a little bit. It's closer. Take a look at this right foot. That right foot tells me he's closer than a yard. Unfortunately for North Carolina Central, the official got it right on the field. Bang, bang play that went the way of Morgan State.
So strong run on first down. On second down, they pass it out to Demir Shipley, or excuse me, that's Joseph Awumi. And Awumi with the first catch of the night, and it's good for 7 yards for the junior.
One thing that Morgan State has is tall wide receivers on the edge. Big football team, and you see the offensive line continue to do a good job on first down running plays. You talked about Awumi on that last catch. He's a 6'3" guy. We got Demir Shipley, who's 6'4". Avery Jones goes 6'2", so tall wide receiver core with a big catch radius.
And you heard Coach Damon Wilson to start this half talk about the offensive line and the job that they have done protecting the sophomore quarterback and creating space for the running backs as well. And that went in the craw of the receiver and just bounces off. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
Yeah, that's one of those plays where, like, don't make that throw, and then when you're fortunate enough to not have the ball intercepted, wide receiver loses concentration by a little bit. You see the defensive back break on the ball, and it ends up hitting the wide receiver right in the stomach. Should have made that catch, but with the distraction by Cole Jones coming over, getting in the passing lane.
Morgan State has done a really good job tonight converting on third downs. Another one upcoming. They have to get to the 38-yard line to keep driving the ball, and a tackle made and stopped short as Manny Smith holds him to 2 yards after that completion, and that'll bring up 4th down.
And Morgan State is not complaining about punting this football. What would have been North Carolina Central having the ball inside the 10-yard line, because of the special teams mishap, offense picked up a couple first downs, and they're able to possibly regain the battle of field position.
Messenger on for his second punt. Codrington back to receive it. And letting it bounce in front of him. Picks it up, falls on it, and secures it. Well, one of the things that we have seen thus far, and if you're just tuning in, folks, Morgan State out to a 3-0 advantage. They got a field goal from 32 yards out on the opening drive, but they have been able to move the ball against North Carolina Central, and they have nearly doubled, or tripled rather, the plays of the Eagles tonight.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it earlier. Their third down conversion percentage has been great. North Carolina Central not able to get that 3 and out and take momentum. Think about it. They've run 27 plays on offense compared to Davis Richard. His team only have 9 plays in this game so far. It's a good sign for the Bears.
Richard, Black College Football Hall of Fame Player of the Year. And they hand it off. And a short gain for Jamari Taylor. Taylor, a gain of 2. A guy who they're really excited about. He's coming off of little bit of an injury, and Taylor, they're happy to have him back in Durham, North Carolina, where North Carolina Central is located. 8,200 students and terrific programs there. They've got the law school, nursing, starting up their biomedical engineering program, as well as communications, criminal justice. You name it, North Carolina Central is leading academically as well. 2 to go on the play clock. They get the snap off. Richard surveying the field. He's feeling the pressure, gets it away. Pass is complete. And Devin Smith is able to haul it in. Short gain of about 3, and then some extracurricular discussion after the play between Smith and the Bears defenders.
And this game's getting chipping. Getting to Davius Richard is one thing. Getting him down is another thing. Knows he's going to get hit, still delivers a strike to pick up some positive yardage.
It's going to be 3rd down.
Look at that. Knowing he's going to get hit, still doesn't go to the ground. Telling you, a strong kid playing quarterback for North Carolina Central.
That's Belgrade, Florida strong, is Davius Richard, an area really known for speed. He's got both the full package on 3rd and 5. What do the Eagles dial up, feeling the pressure, gets the ball away, and well covered and defended as Jason Brevard was right there blanketing the receiver. 4th down.
Yeah, not allowing Richard to get comfortable in the pocket. Inspired defense, and if you know anything about Damon Wilson's history, comes from that defensive side of the ball. Defensive coordinator, Bowie State University, was National Division II Coach of the Year. If this defense shows up, they can shut down some teams, which has been the case for them a couple times this season.
And fair catch for Quincy Hall as a flag flies out at the end of that one.
During the kick, holding, receiving team, number 7. That 10-yard penalty assessed at the end of the kick. 1st down, Morgan State.
Well, Trey Oliver and his group only trailing by a field goal. We'll see if his defense can come up with a big stop on the other side.
When you're part of something bigger than yourself.
Program at Morgan State after Damon Wilson spent 13 seasons as the Bowie State head coach, his alma mater. You mentioned it, Jay, the success that he had just down the road, 3 straight conference championships and a number of NCAA playoff berths as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Division II National Coach of the Year, not just HBCU, but the National Division II Coach of the Year. They got a winner. He was a rising star, getting his chance to be head coach at the FCS level.
And taking a shot as Dominique Anthony overthrows his intended target of Travion Pratt by at least 5 or 10 yards.
And that's the part that we have to work on if you're Dominique Anthony. You've got these tall wide receivers that we've been talking about. Travion Pratt goes 6'2", you got guys 6'3". You don't overthrow those guys. Give them a chance to catch that 50-50 ball. I'm going to call him out a little bit, give him a shout out. I know Coach Ronnie Crump down at Potomac High School taught him a little bit better than that. Get that throw in down so your wide receivers can help you out.
Here on 2nd down and 10, Anthony hands the ball off. That's Myrie, the junior running back out of Washington, D.C., stopped by Max Urin. Urin, the glue and the brains of this defense for the Eagles. No gain on the play. That's going to bring up 3rd and 10.
Max Urin, one of those guys that gets it done on and off the field for Trey Oliver and Courtney Cord from his inside linebacker position. Just got an internship with the judge going into law enforcement there. Call him the sheriff on the field.
He patrols the middle of the field, going sideline to sideline as well. Play clock dwindling down. Anthony looking, feeling the pressure from Jaden Flaker, and bounces the throw. And 4th down on the way.
And slowly but surely, North Carolina Central's defensive line starting to control the line of scrimmage. A little pressure on Dominique Anthony, stopping the running game, starting to enforce their will upon this offensive line from Oregon State. Difference from the first quarter.
Messenger looks on, awaits the snap, and boots it away. High end over end kick. And the 41-yard punt is down. When you think about North Carolina Central, we've talked about a top 10 ranking in FCS football. Their highest, number 9, and they got so there after that big win over number 25, Elon at the time. 500th program win for North Carolina Central, and Trey Oliver is now 3-1 against nationally ranked FCS opponents. When we talked to him about some of the most memorable ones that he's had, he went back to last year in New Hampshire.
They went up there on the road, went to New Hampshire, beat a ranked team there. Impressive win. And I'm seeing one little small chink in the armor. They're off to another slow start. You know, in the games they've had this year, they've had to come from behind in 2 of those games after being down by double digits in their contest. So I think something you have to be of concern with if you're a fan of the Eagles is, when do we play that game where we just come out the box and light them up?
When you think back to last week, they were trailing by 10 against the Phoenix, and then prior to that, Campbell, they had to overcome a 21-point deficit, pushed to overtime, and won 49-48 at O'Kelly Riddick Stadium down in Durham. What's it going to take for this offense, for Matt Leone to get going and see his Eagles play the way they've played before? Davius Richard says he can be the spark plug, as Richard with a 9-yard gain, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 1 for NCCU.
You just have the feeling sooner or later Davius Richard's going to make a play. Going to bring a safety blitz coming, but a great job of pickup by the left guard, picking it up, allowing Richard an opportunity to escape from the pocket and pick up some positive yards and almost get the first down.
Trying to convert for the first time tonight on 3rd down. Don't have far to go as they hand it off to Latrell Mookie Collier, who springs Torselli Simpkins forward as well. And that moves the chains. Collier, a 5th-year senior out of Bluefield, West Virginia, already has his undergraduate degree, working on his master's. A number of players on this roster for North Carolina Central, including Davius Richard, have graduated. Richard currently working on his MBA. First and 10, flushed out of the pocket, still looking downfield. Richard can't connect with Joaquin Davis. It's 2nd down.
Joaquin Davis, you have to help the quarterback out. That was a great job of extending the play by Davius Richard. Gets outside of the pocket and throws a strike. And watch the arm strength. We talk about how strong Richard is. Rolling, scrambling. He knows there's pressure on him. Watch this. Delivers a rocket, takes a hit. Ball should have been caught. Those are the plays that have NFL scouts taking a real close look at Davius Richard.
And Trey Oliver says, hey, every NFL team has been through there. Few teams have made extra trips down the Bull City. Latrell Collier looking for space, and Collier
on the carry for the Eagles, number 5,
picks up a couple on the play. Quincy Johnson on the stop. Now you've got to get to the 45-yard line of Morgan State. What do you call here, Jay?
They have the luxury of having number 11 as a quarterback, so you don't have to worry about the run. Just open it up, protect up front. You don't want to have to throw the ball hot here, so you want to maybe keep that running back in for pass protection because you have to think they're going to bring some type of pressure. And then you allow Davis Richard to do what he does, which is pick apart defenses.
On 3rd and 8, Richard, pressure from the backside, and he's brought down by Sam Al-Shamir. Loss of 11.
And right here you'll see left tackle Trayvon Humphrey just get beat on an individual effort. It was a good job of blitz pickup by the running back, but the left tackle Humphrey gives up a sack. This Morgan State defense is playing motivated. Do they know they're playing the #1 team in HBCU football and the top 10 team in the country overall?
Damon Wilson says, hey, our guys are hungry. They didn't need any extra motivation. They know what they need to do on the opening game of MEAC play, the return for Quincy Hall after his knee hit the ground. Not much room to run. However, Damon Wilson's crew holding tight to a 3-0 lead here in the first half. It's coming up on the All-State Halftime Report. Kevin Connor, Sam Acho, and Trevor Maddich break down the Michigan preview, plus that big one out of the ACC, Duke FSU, and highlights and stats as well. And we key in on Juan Velarde, part of the All-State Good Works team, one of about 22 finalists or players within the country recognized for being a terrific student, athlete, and your community service as well, reaching out, really helping to serve and tutor within the Latino, Hispanic communities and the youth, volunteering with Durham Farmer Food Share. He's done so much, and a player who Trey Oliver talked about earlier this week about him being so proud of the work that he's done and the champion that he has been. 1st and 10 for Morgan State. And the pass complete to Pratt. Gain of 5. What are your thoughts thus far on Dominique Anthony and the job that he's done as the signal caller?
He hasn't turned the ball over, which is key, and he's made some good decisions, but the accuracy hasn't been there for him. Missed an opportunity to have some big plays, but done a good job of eliminating the turnover and making good decisions where to go with the football. Just some of the throws have been off.
128 of total yards of offense thus far tonight for Morgan State, as Dominique Anthony looking to add to it. However, a penalty marker comes out, as well as a bunch of Eagles try to push him back and stop him.
And prior to this flag being thrown, I was saying this is one of those key drives for an offensive team like Morgan State. You got a small lead.
Offense, more than 4 players in the background. Pete, second down.
You have a small lead right now. Your defense is playing lights out. What you don't want to do is give Central an opportunity to either tie or take the lead going into the locker room, and help out your defense. Get that drive where you get off that 3-point lead you have, so you can have a little confidence going into the locker room, because you just have the feeling sooner or later North Carolina Central is going to figure it out, but you want to put some doubt in their mind.
Here on 2nd and 10, just over 4 minutes to go in the first half. And the ball carrier bumped down by the linebacker, Urin. As J.J. Davis sees Urin once again, gain of 2.
This is what you call one of those championship plays right now. We're talking about Central. You need to get this stop on 3rd down and give your offense an opportunity to give you the lead going into the locker room. So it's a team effort, and championship teams find ways to find a chink in the armor and take advantage of it. This 3rd down is big.
4 wide receivers and dumping it down to Davis, and Davis really had nowhere to go, as Thompson, James Johnson, along with others, stopping him all along the way.
Yeah, great job by Johnson. In man on the line of scrimmage. They're running the screen off of him, and watch him track him down. That's a defensive end pass rush specialist able to sniff out the screen and track down the running back to force the punt.
Well, credit Thomas Johnson on that stop. And again, Courtney Cord saying his defense coming up with plays when they need it. And they're a key stop as Morgan State once again punting. 4 straight possessions and 4 straight punts for the Bears. Towering kick. Codrington calls for the fair catch. North Carolina Central will start their drive from their own 19 when we come back. First of its kind Band of the Year National Championship coming your way December 15th. 4 bands, top 2 from Division I, top 2 from Division II. Right now, Southern leading the way, North Carolina A&T right behind them. An impressive list thus far. It's going down in Atlanta right before the Cricket Celebration Bowl, the day before the Cricket Celebration Bowl in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Jay.
Yeah, I see a lot of SWAC bands there.
A lot of SWAC bands.
But I'm hearing that the #1 band in the rankings right now, that Norfolk State band, I'm hearing the Spartan Legion is legit. It'll be interesting down there. We're going to crown 2 national champions in Atlanta. The band national championship and the HBCU national championship.
The NCCU sound machine trying to get on that list, trying to be a part of that top 10 as they traveled from the Bull City up here to the Charm City.
Look at that time of possession. Central just not able to get things going. Only have 40 yards in total offense going into this drive, yet only down by 3.
This is a team who gains an average of 330 total yards per game. When you look at Davius Richards' numbers, 4 of 9, 24 yards through the air. And what is it going to take to get him going? Make this Eagles offense soar. And the hit delivered immediately to Mookie Collier. Great play there by Desus.
That's how you play the boundary corner. Ball comes out your way. You're responsible for run game and anything in front of you. Good job with a hard hit to force Collier to drop the pass.
That's Carl Volansky. Desus causing now a 3rd and 7. Only 1 of 5 tonight converting for the Eagles. And you got to get the playoff 1 on the play clock, able to do so. Davius Richard completes it. Oh, they say it's incomplete. Devin Smith did not come up with it. And once again, this Central offense looking anemic in this first half.
Yeah, 3-level throw. He goes to the 2nd level, which is the right place to go with the football. You're a scholarship wide receiver. You have to make that catch in this type of game. And that's the sign of what's been taking place for North Carolina Central in the first half. Just cannot get it going and allowing Morgan State to bring it to them on defense.
3rd straight 3 and out for the Eagles out of his own end zone, and punting it away is Velarde, and the return from Morgan State. And Hall said, I needed just a little bit more crease and push, and I would have had some more yards. 34-yard punt, 14-yard return.
A dangerous return. Wouldn't have been mad if he just would have taken the fair catch right there, but he wants to get involved in the action, has a couple moves, picks up some good yardage, and Morgan State with an opportunity to possibly increase their lead going into the half. This is a shocker.
New quarterback on the field, Carson Baker, the graduate out of San Diego, California, returning after he was out with COVID. In the backfield along with him, Keith Jenkins Jr., a playmaker, an athlete who's flipped up and brought down. Cole Jones will be credited with the tackle.
You know, one of the things that North Carolina Central head coach Trey Oliver was worried about was Keith Jenkins. He said he kind of stands out when you watch the film, and I agree. He's got a tremendous first step. He's quick. He's a game breaker, and they're changing up their backfield, going with Carson Baker and Keith Jenkins at the same time.
And that was one of the things that Central was prepared for, trying to get ready for a dual quarterback system. Overthrows the receiver Jenkins, and 3rd and 8 upcoming for Morgan State.
You know, when Baker comes into the game, you know, he's more of the drop back passer, you know, wants to pick you apart from the pocket. So I think that's why they tried to spring Keith Jenkins in there. When you start thinking about Baker throwing the ball, they really want to try and get Jenkins to get loose on the perimeter.
Baker, who's moved around a bit, started his career at San Diego State and transferred over to Western Kentucky before landing at Morgan State. Here on 3rd down, going for it, one-on-one coverage, and overthrows Wilkins. The intended target, Jason Chambers, was there on the coverage. It's 4th down.
That was a streaking Wilkins going down the sideline. Thought there might have been some contact there by Chambers, but no flag from the official. Well, that's a little bit of a push and ride with the ball in the air. Got to sell that a little bit more for the wide receiver Wilkins.
Beckett Leary on to attempt a 47-yarder. It's up. It has enough leg, but it is no good. So Morgan State unable to net any points after that drive, and with 1:03 remaining in the first half, North Carolina Central will get the ball back. Time now for Jay's Gimme 5, and
oh, they changed it. It's supposed to be the most beautifulest campus.
You're not Keith
in the
Murray,
HBCU
man.
World, the most beautifulest, but you'll see it right there. I've got Hampton #1. You can't beat that location on the bay, on the water. North Carolina A&T, we know about the new campus they've done there, but how about #3? I talked to the president earlier and said, if you have not seen the new Morgan State University, it is beautiful. And then we've got Prairie View A&M. And got to talk about Alabama State. They have the best athletic facilities out there. Need to kind of get the campus going a little bit more.
As they need to get Davius Richard going a little bit more, and he picks up the first down, tackled by Jordan Tolles, who delivered that hit. Trying to run this hurry-up offense after that gain of 12. Ball on the 42-yard line of Central. Looking, pass complete, getting out of bounds is Tynez Warner. First catch of the night for Warner.
And this is something that NFL scouts want to see. You know, okay, how does Davius Richard handle obvious passing situation, 2-minute offense style offense, to see if he's able to move the ball down there.
One of the things that he has improved year over year, being a great decision maker. He's got full autonomy of this offense. So says his head coach. Let's see what he doctors up in the final 40 seconds. Shakes off 1 sack and then is brought down. And good pressure brought to the doorstep of Davius Richard.
A great job of one, flushing him out of the pocket. And although this is going to show up just as an incomplete pass, look at the pursuit by Asante, #5. Hard takedown here. You don't like seeing your quarterback getting driven to the turf like that. And ooh, that might have been a little bit of extracurricular on that tackle.
Nana Asante, known as a pass rusher in this defense. 3rd and 7 in traffic, gets it to Latrell Collier, and Collier only gains 1. Asante there once again.
Wow.
What an impressive showing in this first half by the Morgan State defense, limiting the reigning HBCU national champions, a top 10 program in the country, to a goose egg on the scoreboard. Damon Wilson's crew controlled the time of possession. Their defense helped to set the tone. But here at Hughes Stadium, they'll go into the locker room with Central set to receive the kickoff in the second half as the Bears clinging to that field goal of a lead after one half of football. Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by McDonald's. A 3-0 ball game at the half between Morgan State and North Carolina Central in the MEAC opener from Hughes Stadium. Well, we told you earlier in the broadcast about Jay's Give Me 5. It's time to revisit.
Take a look at it. You see Morgan State there, and then I want to talk about Prairie View A&M. One of their big advantages, they have a lot of land, and they use it the right way. New facilities, looks good. Alabama State, best facilities, athletic-wise, that you'll find in the country. And I'm a fan of Xavier down in Louisiana. They do a good job there. But the shocker, like I said, number 3 Morgan State, they'll show you what $1.2 billion investment looks like.
We'll show you a little bit more of the campus, but first, let me chime in with Tiff's 2 cents. I got to go with Lincoln University in Missouri, one of the oldest land-grant HBCUs. It's on a hill. It's overlooking the capital city, which it's located in Jefferson City. And then I really liked University of Maryland Eastern Shore. Now, it is on an island by itself. There is nothing else around it. However, quite spacious. You talk about land, and it draws you in. It's a pretty expansive campus. Looks really nice. As we bring you the flavor, brought to you by McDonald's. And we talked about this Morgan State campus. We'll show it to you now. More than $1 billion invested. Earl S. Richardson Library, named after one of the former presidents. An outstanding edifice. And then you think about Holmes Hall and some of the more stately buildings on campus. A good mixture. We got a chance to ride by the Earl G. Graves School of Business. Isn't that the student center that we walked through?
Yes, it is, and that's phenomenal. That's the one that won awards for the architectural design there. You know, what I really like about it, you're still in the city, but you feel like you're on a college campus environment, and they mix the old with the new in a great way. They are the national treasure, so they've got some restrictions on what they can do to some of these buildings, but this is a phenomenal looking place.
And they've got a new medical school coming soon that they just got approved for, as North Carolina Central getting the ball here to start the second half. Brandon Codrington on the return, and a flag flies out during it, and we will await the call of this one. We'll see what type of answer North Carolina Central can have here in this second half. Let's hear the call from Derek Hatton. And they're still discussing it a little bit further. And here we go.
During the return, personal foul, kicking team, number 91. 15-yard penalty is added to the end of the run. First down, North Carolina Central.
So a penalty immediately on the kickoff to start this third quarter. Not the way Damon Wilson wants to see his group start, giving Davius Richard and his team better field position, starting from their own 40-yard line. Central struggled to move the ball against this Morgan State defense in the first half. Latrell Collier in the backfield with Richard. The handoff, it's fumbled, picked up by Davius Richard. Right place, right time. and made positive yardage out of that one. Gain of 8.
Would you rather be lucky or would you rather be good? Well, they're lucky, and Davius Richard is very good. Has the alertness to realize the ball's on the turf, not a clean exchange. Well, he knows where the A gap is, where he's supposed to run the football, and picks up good yardage on first down.
On 2nd and 2, this North Carolina Central team has yet to cross the 50-yard line in tonight's game. And Latrell Collier gets him into Bears territory. Mookie Collier, as they call him, the leading rusher in the MEAC, and stopped by Lawrence Richardson, among others.
And this is a football play right here. The end of this one, it's a boring play, picks up 3 or 4 yards, but watch the collision between Collier and the linebacker Richardson. Mano y mano, getting physical down there in the trenches, and neither one of them backing down.
Guys down there, back up, back up.
Collier, a blue-collar kind of guy, all-around back. Remember, he had to wait his turn behind Isaiah Totten before his number was called, and boy, has he impressed since taking over the load. Emerged late last season. They handed off to Collier once again, and this time he's stopped by Noah Washington. Noah Washington, known as the run stopper for this Morgan State defense.
And one thing about the boys from Maryland, because most of this team, like 90% of the rosters from the state of Maryland, they're known for physical football up here in this part. The offensive and defensive line plays where colleges come in from around the country. They like these big guys, and we're seeing the Morgan State defensive line and the offensive line play like Maryland boys.
Well, this defense has held a team that's used to putting up 35 points a game to a big fat 0 on the scoreboard thus far. On 2nd and 9, and the pass complete into Quentin McCall. Devin Smith, a local product out of Durham, North Carolina.
It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Eagles.
So Davius Richard and North Carolina Central seeing success on this opening drive. One of the areas that they've worked with their senior quarterback on is trying to improve his accuracy. Remember, he used to go east-west. Now he's a guy on all plays trying to go north-south. Collier running downhill and straight into the teeth of the defense, as we got a chance to catch up with Trey Oliver, their head coach, coming out of the locker room. North Carolina Central shut out in the first half. Their head coach, Trey Oliver, with us now. And, Coach, what was your message to the team at the half?
We got to wake up. We got to wake up. I don't know if our guys thought that Morgan was going to come in here and lay down or what the case was, but we have not matched their energy or intensity. Haven't got anything going on offense and defense. We let them throw the ball around on us a little bit. So we made some adjustments at halftime, and we're going to come out and play a little bit better the second half.
Offensively, you guys have struggled like you haven't struggled all season long. What are they doing to you?
They playing harder than we are. They're only rushing 3 up front and getting pressure on the quarterback. And then Davies has got to make some throws. It's a little uncharacteristic. He's missed some. And then we have some drops. So it's just it's a multitude of things. We got to play better up front. Davies got to settle down, make some throws, and then we got to make some plays on the perimeter.
Let me hear your message to the team at halftime. What did you tell them when you got that locker room, Trey?
We got to wake up. That's it, man. I don't know what this team is that just showed up on this first half, but we got to play much better the next 30 minutes. So all of this, we talk about winning the middle 8. I thought we played well the last 4 minutes. We need to come out of the locker room, play well, and win this first 4 right here, and then just make one play at a time. That's it.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Well, 5 completions, 27 yards in the first half for Davius Richard. Very uncharacteristic, as you heard their head coach mention. But now moving the ball much better here to start the second half.
Yeah, you know, I asked him that question again about the message because I was thinking about school days. And at the end of school days, it ended with somebody saying, "Wake up, wake up." And he needs North Carolina Central to wake up here in the second half. And off to a pretty good start, taking advantage of the penalty on special teams on Morgan State with the good field position.
Had some room and banged up after that completion by Eric Hunter as Twan Flip holds on to it. Now 3rd down on the way after that completion to Flip.
And this has been the down, I think, that's been most disappointing. They have been bad on third down. Credit to the Morgan State defense, but as we said from Coach Oliver, they've missed some plays on third down, which is uncharacteristic for this team.
Threatening to get into the red zone for the first time tonight. Got to get to the 15-yard line of Morgan State to extend this drive. Started at the 40. Davius Richard. And there is Lawrence Richardson. And Richardson with a big tackle there, the physical linebacker, and only 1 yard gain for North Carolina Central.
Yeah, a good job of dialing up the blitz by defensive coordinator Antoine Sewell. They brought a slot blitzer, and when Richard saw it, there was nowhere for him to go. A little bit of confusion. I think that's some of the things they're talking about. You should be able to pick up a hot read from your right side if it's coming directly at you. Late reaction, can't do much on the play.
Adrian Olivo on to attempt a 38-yard field goal to try to tie this ball game up. The kick is up, and it's straight through the uprights and good, even at 3 apiece. And so North Carolina Central breaking through the scoreboard. Come back with us to Baltimore. Join Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, and the Monday Night Football crew in Minnesota, where Brock Purdy and the 49ers take on Kirk Cousins and the Vikings, 8 Eastern on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN Deportes, with Peyton and Eli once again on ESPNU. 49ers trying to bounce back after that loss to the Cleveland Browns. San Fran, their first loss of the season. And your former team in action. Partner, you spent some time in the NFL, played with the Patriots and the Vikings. What do they say, Skull?
Skull Vikings.
Yeah.
Skull.
Skull. Short field kick in. Now you've got to ask the question, if you're Morgan State, what do you have to answer back and try to get a drive going? You saw a sustained drive of 10 yards on that opening possession, netted in a field goal. It was Dominique Anthony who started off. We saw Carson Baker as well. How do you get something moving like you did in parts of the first half?
We'll make the second half adjustments, and let's see what the offensive coordinator, B.T. Sherman, can do. But an offense that only averages 13.5 points a game cannot afford to get in a shootout. So you don't try to force the pass. You come out, you try to just take long, methodical drives, eat a little clock, pick up a couple first downs, which they had success doing in the first half, just don't have any real points to show for it.
Well, Anthony out to the right side, and it's complete to Demir Shipley. Shipley, who's been targeted a few times tonight, and the junior out of Tuskegee, Alabama, with a 7-yard completion.
And what did they do to start this game off? 5 consecutive passes off the right arm of Dominique Anthony. Let's see if they go back to that formula to start off the second half.
I think coming in, many would have expected them to keep the ball on the ground, try to stop the run, but the success they've had through the air has seen a nice balance as the handoff to Jabril Johnson, and Johnson gets the first down.
Carry for the Bears, number 5, Jabril Johnson.
And you can just tell, you know, we talk so much about North Carolina Central and all the rankings and what they've done. This is the difference when you get in conference play. But I always say, when you get to conference play, they know you. They know you. It's like your classmates in high school. They know you. You know, they know them, and they're not afraid of North Carolina Central.
The handoff, and Jabril Johnson is brought down by Jaden Taylor, interior tackle for the Eagles. He's a guy who's been a bright spot along that defensive line.
It's going to be second down.
Here on second down. Some of the question marks about how your team would play in the non-conference. You want to make through and kind of get as many wins as possible, but you also want to be healthy going in to conference play because, as you mentioned, Jay, 5-game sprint as Anthony taking a shot and had a look, but couldn't put it in the hands of Travion Pratt.
And a great job by the cornerback, Brandon Codrington, doing a good job from that trail position, playing over the top coverage. And that's the thing that I was going to give them credit for. They did not turn the ball over.
Hands to the face. Defense, number 9. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Oh, right there. Ooh. Got him in a bull rush, and that's Karfa Kaba. You see the end of that play there. And that's what you call good coverage. You got one over the top, you got one underneath in case the ball is underthrown. And that's a tough break right there for Kaba. But it was a hands to the face.
The ball's going to be spotted on the Eagles' 43-yard line.
So at the 43-yard line, that's where Morgan State has the ball in Eagles territory. The handoff, Johnson trying to bounce off. He's able to do so, but couldn't get around the corner as a flag flies out. As Malcolm Reed brought him down.
Holding, offense, number 56, 10-yard penalty, Pete first down.
You'll see there on a little misdirection running play. You hate to have holding penalties called on running plays, particularly by interior linemen. Take a look at big number 56 there. So you just want him to wash him down. A little bit too much jersey, and that's the call to make.
Masula Tapuasoa out of Mater Dei, California. First and 20. Anthony looking, and what a catch made as it hauled in. They say yes. Anthony James Jr. with a great grab.
Catch is made by number 16.
19 yards on the completion.
Wow, good job. They lined him up with the tight end, just kind of give him the wheel route. And this is why you don't want to overthrow your guys. Give them an opportunity to make a fantastic catch. One hand, foot in bounds. Sweet.
That was an OBJ. Remember, he made those popular more recently. Odell Beckham Jr. They're going to likely take another look at it here. But on that replay, it looked clean all the way through. They're just going to take another peek at it just to make sure.
And Anthony James and Dominique Anthony both went to Potomac High School. They played together, and this is a fantastic catch. Hand down. That's a catch.
Wow.
That's a catch. Ball doesn't move. You know the rule when you leave your feet. Ball cannot move. This is securing the football. How he gets that right arm underneath the ball with the turn, which we didn't see the receiver do earlier in this game. That's a fantastic catch by Anthony James Jr.
And that could be a Sports Center top 10 nominee if it is indeed upheld as a catch.
Look at the athleticism. But that's how you make the play right there.
Strong hand, secures the football, gets in bounds. Jay, if this does hold, you think about the 3rd and 20 plus in that first half that they were able to convert on here. Another long situation here. 1st and 20, and you gain potentially 19 yards on it. I mean, Anthony is making throws when needed, and the receivers are coming up with big catches.
Yeah, fantastic individual efforts, and that's what really hurts defensive coordinators. You think keep everything in front of you, you've got a little room for error, but they made a spectacular play.
And this has got to be a catch.
The ruling on the field of a completed catch is confirmed. Second down, Morgan State.
Again, outstanding effort from Anthony James Jr., the senior, hauling in a great grab, and now brings up 2nd and 1. When you're in these type of defensive battles, does it favor one team or another, Jay, in your opinion?
It depends on the plan of attack from the offense. So if you're in a passing attack offense and you're struggling to score points, that's a bad sign, because normally you lose in the battle with the defensive line. But I just think we've seen two physical defenses that are flying to the football, following the keys on the scouting report. And anytime, I'm going to say advantage Morgan State, anytime you can hold the offensive player of the year to just 3 points in this game thus far, you are executing at a high level.
A 3rd and 1.
Run the ball downhill.
That Morgan State is looking to convert. Remember, they were 4 of 5 to start the game. They have not converted in the last 5 tries. They do indeed hand it off, some space for Miles Myrie. And Myrie, who likes to run between the tackles, finishing on that play there. And a fresh set of downs after that gain of 10.
When the offensive line is getting that push, obvious run situation, and they just win their battles. At the point of attack, one missed tackle, good job by the running back of making the tackler miss and able to pick up the first down yards.
Looking right into the hands of the defender. That's Jason Chambers coming up with a crucial interception. He's a guy that makes game-changing plays for the Eagles defense. Had an INT against Campbell, then last weekend against Elon, and that could shift the momentum for North Carolina Central.
Absolutely. Quick pass. He reads the route and jumps the route, and then gets aggressive in the return game, getting downfield, and that could be the spark that North Carolina Central's been waiting for. You see him just kind of bait the quarterback. He's not dropping, and that's miscommunication between the wide receiver and the quarterback, and just a fantastic job of causing confusion by Jason Chambers.
You read that all the way through, and again, one of the areas where this North Carolina Central defense is strong is in their secondary, a very experienced group, and now great field position. Best of the night for the Eagles offense as Jamari Taylor on the carry, a short gain.
They are really struggling to run the football. I mean, Morgan State, their defense comes in here very good versus the run. They only give up 109 yards per game rushing, and we see why. They're as good as advertised.
We'll take into consideration something we haven't mentioned, Jay. A lot of youth along that offensive line. 3 freshmen up front for Matt Leone's crew on offense. The coordinator is working with some youngsters who've held up well, as Davius Richard is tripped up and stopped by that Morgan State defense once again. Javion Morton was the first to get to him.
But coming in, they talked about the fact that they're young up front, and that was the biggest question mark they had going into the season. But their offensive line has been doing a good job. They've played some tough teams and have been able to run the ball, but that has not been the case here tonight against a game Morgan State defensive line.
Important 3rd down here for Central. 1 of 8 tonight on 3rd downs. Davius Richard escaping pressure, looking for somewhere to go, and has nowhere to go as Noah Washington greets him.
And Coach Trey Oliver said, we got to change it up. They're rushing 3. Well, they're rushing 4, and you still can't protect it. You're doing that and forcing Richard to leave the pocket, making him very uncomfortable. Nowhere to go for the quarterback from North Carolina Central.
And 4th down and 10. North Carolina Central's offense stays on the field. And they're going for it here. The push up front, And Davis Richard has plenty of time and completes it to Quentin McCall. Big play there, and it's a first down.
Showing off the arm strength and too much cushion given up on the outside. Look at this. This is an untouched route on 4th down. Turned around the true freshman quarterback in Jason Pavard, not knowing where the first down marker was, and the Eagles convert.
So can they make good on that Jason Chambers interception? Marching closer to the end zone. Taylor to the right of Richard, receives the snap. Looks, and the pass is complete to Devin Smith. Smith, who is one of those guys, when we spoke with the coaching staff, they just talked about how great of a young man he is, a wonderful human being that's going to make a difference, and would spend Saturdays doing camps with kids along with his quarterback, Davius Richard, in the Durham area. Inside the red zone. They hand it off to Jamari Taylor, and Taylor is tackled by a number of players. Eric Hunter along with Washington in on the stop. Eric Hunter, a guy we haven't talked about a whole lot tonight. Top tackler for the Bears defense. They'd like to call him E40. Sprinkle me, man.
E40. He, along with Lawrence Richardson, making that return at the linebacker core, have been the anchors for this, and E40 really stepped up his game in the absence of Richardson when he was a little bit banged up, and playing a good football game here tonight.
You're on 3rd and 2. They keep Taylor in the backfield. And that's good enough for a first down. It's going to be close, but it looked like, based on the spot, it's going to move the chains.
And not a good sign for Taylor as he limps off the field. But wow, this Bear defense is making Central work for every yard.
And yards have been hard to come by tonight. Points certainly at a premium here on this Thursday in Baltimore. So Taylor, who came off of injury, went back limping. Collier gets the toss. And Latrell Mookie Collier trying to run his way into the end zone. Stopped just about a yard short.
On the carry for the Eagles offense, number 5, Latrell Collier.
Gain of a dozen on that one, and it brings up 1st and goal.
Yeah, just a little toss sweep to the outside, and Collier with the vision to make one cut, and we know he's a hard, aggressive runner, can run through arm tackles and almost gets into the end zone. A quick decision. That's what the good runners do. They look for daylight, and they make one step, and they get into the hole in a hurry.
Final play of the 3rd quarter. They get it off, and right there, snuffed out easily by this Bears defense, and that's Jordan Tolles to close out the 3rd. Tie ball game here in Baltimore in this MEAC opener. North Carolina Central driving. Find out if they can punch it in to start the 4th when we come back.
There is something greater than finishing first.
True champions stand on principles.
We fight for the right causes. We believe
in the power of teamwork, whether in rebounding, receiving, or in research.
In service and in sportsmanship.
Only a few have what it really takes.
We develop the talent. We unleash the potential.
It all boils down to this. Now
is the time. This is the place.
We are MEAC.
At the Cracker Barrel, freshly made food at a fair price is just what we do. In fact, we've got over 20 meals under $12, each served with a helping of care. Cracker Barrel, take care now.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I come to talk with you again. Because a vision saw me creeping, left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision
Welcome back to ESPN College Football presented by McDonald's. Well, Friday at 10:30 Eastern. Over on ESPN, Connor Bedard and the Blackhawks square off against Nathan McKinney and the Avalanche. Coverage begins with The Point at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. Important way to start the fourth quarter. The ball on the 5-yard line of Morgan State. North Carolina Central seems to have figured a little something out. They were aided with a great return after the interception by Jason Chambers. And now Davius Richard and his crew have first and goal right here.
You have to go misdirection. They haven't shown the ability to blow them off the line of scrimmage. So look for some type of misdirection and possibly getting Richard out the pocket.
Correction, second and goal. You see Devin Smith in motion. He gets out the pocket, but again, right there with the defender in his face, third and goal.
I mean, the defense is just following their keys. Assignment football played to perfection. Mentioned earlier, they're not giving up any easy yards on any part of the football field. This Bear defense tonight, see if they have what it takes to bear down one more play, possibly force a field goal try.
And if you're North Carolina Central, you want to try to get a touchdown on this one after the turnover. Richard has a man, finds him into the end zone, and a score for Central. It's Tynez Warner. First touchdown of the night for either team, and this one puts the Eagles on top.
Well, they just went with a bunch formation. Actually, a late throw to the outside. But once again, that's Pavard, the freshman, giving up too much cushion down in the red zone. Not able to make the tackle in the open field. The Eagles get their first touchdown of the game.
Olivo converts on the point after attempt, and Tynez Warner returns home to Maryland. He scores the touchdown, and the Eagles soaring after that score, 10-3.
ESPN College Football is presented by McDonald's.
That's exactly how it looked when we were heading here to Hughes Stadium, right? Driving through the streets of Baltimore, all crazy, fast, and furious looking.
Then got to hit the tunnel. Don't forget about the tunnel there. Yeah. That's the tunnel in there. But Charm City on display here. Folks are in for a good football game as the #1 team in HBCU football was on the ropes, but now trying to assume control of this ball game.
That last drive spurred by an interception set up the score. Now Morgan State will get the ball back here on the return as Keith Jenkins, and Jenkins is tripped up and stopped by Jaden Flaker. We mentioned that Jason Chambers interception. They say he's a dude on defense, fast, fearless. He gets it done, sets up this great return, and what happens on the other end of that play? A few plays later, they find Tynez Warner in for the touchdown. Central up. Let's take a look back in a day in history, November 13th, 1993. And these are the numbers my partner Jay Walker put up here at Morgan State. 433 yards, part of 3 touchdowns. That was a spectacular year for you.
Well, we had it going uptown there. It was all right. We had a memorable year. That's what you do when you're the #1 team in the country. You go on the road and you take care of your business.
Undefeated team, might I add. You finished off that undefeated season for the Howard Bison, an All-American. You're a MEAC Hall of Famer, but you got that nickname Sky. Everybody paid attention to Jay Sky Walker.
Well, the good ones have a good nickname like that one. And for all my Morgan State folks, I always tease a little bit. So I had 66 points my senior year. My junior year, we had 64 points. So we averaged 65 points a game versus Morgan State. So I'm going to get out of here, so I'm not going to talk too much trash.
You know, we're only going about an hour away from here. Tomorrow we will be at Yard Fest for Howard Homecoming. Everybody, my partner's going home.
Going home to America's best homecoming in the world. The granddaddy of them all. The granddaddy of them all when it comes to homecomings will be on display this weekend down in the nation's capital.
You know, our viewers will certainly decide regarding that here on First Down, and the run by J.J. Davis sees some laundry come out onto the field in the process. When you think about the MEAC, hey, we're starting conference play off tonight. Norfolk State and Howard will be in action.
Holding, offense, number 10. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
It's on Andre Crowley, and tough one. Almost looked like the defensive back was falling down, but out there on that perimeter, you've got an official that's right there. Tough break for Mr. Crowley.
So we see the Spartans and Howard. South Carolina State, Dell State also in action this weekend. Here on 1st and 20. And the ball carrier picked up just a couple yards.
And what about the defensive adjustments from North Carolina Central? I mean, after that opening drive, maybe the first 2 drives where Morgan State had success moving the ball, they changed up the script. And they've basically taken the air out of the tires of this Morgan State offense and having them look like the offense that only averages 13 points a game. And that's the problem. When your offensive average says you only average 13 points, you fall down by 7, okay. You start falling down by 10 and 13, you start to wonder, how are we going to get points in this game?
We're here on a strong run on 2nd and 13, and a good pickup by J.J. Davis. That'll bring them within a yard here on 3rd down upcoming.
And I like the shifty move in the hole. Watch this move right here. In a small space, made that cut.
Richard Jr. out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Coleraine High School. They said, let's feed Agent Zero again in time. Cole Jones comes up to trip him up as we saw a flag there at the end.
Looked like a late flag, too, so normally not where you would see a holding call that late.
Holding.
But it is.
Offense, number 8. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
That's on the tight end, Diop. And so a 3 and out for Morgan State. And you've got this feeling after those adjustments made by North Carolina Central, coming up with that turnover by Jason Chambers on the interception. You don't want to leave that door open for Central. See if Morgan State's defense can come up with another stop. 37-yard punt, no return. And the Eagles offense comes back to the field when we come back. Tight ball game here at Hughes Stadium. North Carolina Central on top. Well, just a reminder, UFC 294 is Saturday from Abu Dhabi, highlighted by the main event, much anticipated rematch in the co-main. Kamaru Usman returns to the octagon. The main card coming your way at 2 Eastern. To order the main card in English and Spanish, go to ESPNplus.com/PPV. North Carolina Central back with the ball, fresh off that scoring drive that saw it in at a 5-yard touchdown reception by Tynez Warner. The handoff to Latrell Collier. Collier, who is a fantastic young man who kind of turns things on and off When he gets on the field, he turns into one person. They say off the field, though, great young man, did an internship in the compliance office.
Well, I love the way Coach said it. I see Latrell coming to my office, but I want Mookie on the football field. So Mookie on the field, Latrell when he comes into the office and in the classroom. Danger zone time right now for Morgan State, playing nothing but man-to-man coverage across the board, trying to stop the run, but it leaves themselves vulnerable to a big play in the passing game.
Handles the high snap, holds on to it as Davius Richard in the option, flipped over, but positive yardage there as Jordan Tolles delivers the tackle. Third down on the way for the FCS 88 Scholar Athlete of the Year as Davius Richard graduated summa cum laude, first in his family to do so. The first of MEAC opening weekend will be at Howard Saturday, noon Eastern kickoff on ESPNU. Davius Richard here, 3rd and 4, tipped up, and the pass incomplete off the hands of Devin Smith.
One of the things we haven't seen like a North Carolina Central wide receiver get open. I mean, they're confusing the coverage a little bit with man and some zone coverage, but we're not seeing, it's not like we're seeing guys in white jerseys that are separating, creating separation. And the passing numbers aren't going to look great for Richard tonight, but I think offensively, it was that effort completely. Like, where's that effort? Like, hey, give me the ball. I want to make something happen.
Velarde, the Peruvian National Player of the Year, gets the punt off in time, falls to the ground. No penalty down there, but back the other way there is one as Quincy Hall may not have had much room there, as we'll await the call from Mr. Hatton.
Kick, catch, interference. Kicking team, number 35. 15 yards from the spot of foul. First down, Morgan State.
Another look at it here. Second kick, catch, interference call tonight that we've seen. That's going to aid Morgan State as they'll have good field position to start this drive here at home.
If you struggle with CPAP, you should check out Inspire. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Learn more and view important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
On a cursed fans.
A competitive ball game here in Baltimore in the MEAC opener for North Carolina Central and Morgan State as we welcome you back inside the booth. Jay Walker, Tiffany Green. And when you looked at this matchup on paper, Jay, is this what you would have expected?
For Morgan State, this is the best they can do. You know, defensively, they're doing a good job holding this team just to 10 points there. And we're starting to see North Carolina Central, a great team. When you don't have everything working, you still have to find a way to win the game. They're in the lead right now. Defense has been phenomenal.
What's going to be the key for Morgan State if they want to come back in this one, an important drive trailing by a touchdown?
They should check, see if I have any more eligibility left, because I can give you a couple touchdowns, pick them apart. But they're going to need Anthony to make some throws. I mean, at the end of the day, they came out throwing the football to keep them off balance. The combination mix between run and pass is going to have to be there.
We'll talk about the run. Here it is. Quincy Hall fumbles the football. We'll see who falls on top of it. North Carolina Central says they have it. We'll await the call on the field as they've got to dig through that pile to see who came up with it.
This is old school. The officials are going to let them see who comes up with it, and the Eagles do.
Wow. 2 turnovers in the last 3 possessions for Morgan State.
And one of the few explosive plays they had here in the second half. But towards the end of the run, Quincy Hall did not secure the football Good job by North Carolina Central. And when you're running full speed like that, you've got to use two hands on the football. He tried to do a spin move in the open space with guys coming for the football. And I think it was Jason Chambers. You see number 28, watch him shield off the block. And he just went down there and wrestled the ball away from Hall.
Well, he's a guy who plays with a lot of moxie. Remember, he was the one who had the interception earlier. And now coming up with the fumble recovery. And Jason Chambers is having himself a great night. The sophomore out of Charlotte with another key play on defense. They say he's a game changer. And coming up with it, high snap. Hand off to Jamari Taylor. He's back on the field after limping off earlier. Jordan Tolles with the tackle.
Once again, you see, that's the mark of a really good football team. Not playing their air game, but winning the battle of special teams, coming up with the big plays, taking advantage of mistakes. It hasn't been pretty for North Carolina Central, but it's been a grind. But the defense came up with a big play.
Second and 9. Davius Richard zips it out. Pass incomplete. That was Matthew Brown, the intended target. Hunter was right there.
That shows you what a great football player E40 is, and Eric Hunter leads his team in tackles, but at his size, 6'4", 210 pounds, can cover wide receivers and running backs in pass coverage.
Trey Oliver wants to see his offense stay on the field a little bit longer after that turnover.
Coming after Richard, and they faked it.
He feels the pressure, escapes the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield, and the pass complete to Latrell Collier right there to make the tackle was once again E40.
And with the spot, he will get the first down. And confusion on that. Watch them fake like they're blitzing, and they only rush 3. Everybody drops back. But Richard able to extend the play and find Collier coming across the field. And this is just your quarterback and running back, your 2 star players going out and making a play when you needed it.
Boy, didn't they really emerge towards the end of last season? And they were reliable playmakers in Collier and Richard. QB1 looking again, strong arm strength, and nearly intercepted. Instead, the pass is complete. I'm not sure how Joaquin Davis came up with it, but he finds it a 30-yard completion.
That was a rocket. That ball went about 50 yards in the air on a rope. He was on the far right hash and threw it all the way across the field to the left hash with a lot of velocity. Davius Richard showing off the cannon.
And you talked about it, no emotion, never too high, never too low, thermostat mentality. And that was the look after the longest play of the game for the Eagles. Richard, once again, sharply into the hands of Smith, and Devin Smith inside the 5. Well, Smith, who has great hands, a terrific route runner, and a guy that Davius Richard has been able to rely on for the last couple of seasons.
When Richard starts to get in this rhythm, coach will just put it in his hands, and I would not be surprised to see him call his own number here and try and run for the end zone.
Well, he's done so successfully 10 times this season on the ground. They call number 11, but how about the Morgan State defense knowing the game plan, ready for it, and they stop him. There have been a number of times where Davius Richard has found the end zone. He had a great game against Campbell. Had 4 touchdowns on the ground, another one through the air. When they've needed him to use his legs, He has been deadly. Man in motion, 3rd and 3. Once again, high snap, rolling to his right. Looking nowhere to go with the football, tries to squeeze it in, and the pass is incomplete. He was searching for Jamari Taylor, who couldn't wiggle open.
Just balled him up, and right now, crucial field goal attempt here, which would put North Carolina Central up by 2 scores. First time they have a little breathing room in this game.
Adrian Olivo steps in, took the field goal for the Eagles.
A chip shot for Adrian Olivo, 21 yards out.
22-yard field goal attempt.
An excellent field goal kicker. Correction, it's 22 yards out, they say. And it's up and through. So that's the breathing room North Carolina Central hopes for. 13 straight points in a row for the Eagles here on the road.
There is something greater than...
Oh yeah, Saturday night's going to bring us a great one out of the ACC. A top 20 matchup as the Duke Blue Devils, ranked 16th in the country, head down to Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee to take on the 4th-ranked Florida State Seminoles. 7:30 Eastern. You can catch it on ABC. Back here at Morgan State, and the NCCU sound machine feeling good. But let's give you a little history on Morgan State. We saw this when we were approaching Hughes Stadium, some lacrosse action.
Well, you know, Tiff, I'm a lacrosse dad, and I'm a lacrosse fan. So Morgan State has a history of playing lacrosse on this campus, and there was a team called the 10 Bears. Right, the 10 Bears, that's the squad right there. Legendary. Look them up, folks, if you don't know the story. They went on the road and beat Washington and Lee, who had won the national championship the year before. The inner city team there, the 10 Bears. And on that team, I think it's wearing number 6, was a guy named Dr. Harrison. His son is named Kyle Harrison. Many regard as one of the greatest lacrosse players of all time that played at Johns Hopkins. And shout out to one of my old colleagues I served with in the House of Delegates, Kurt Anderson. Was a member of the 10 Bears. Remarkable story, and there's an ESPN story on them as well.
On the return is Jenkins to further that Miles Harrison Jr. Those other
That's Kyle's dad, Miles Harrison dad.
There you go.
I call him Dr. Harrison.
Wanted to start it, and the first at an HBCU, and it was a historic upset back in 1975, coached by Chip Silverman.
That's why you're good at what you do. See, I know the story from the street legend.
Right.
You know the facts.
By Chip Silverman.
See, that's why you're good at what you do. See, I know the story from the street legend.
Right.
You know the facts. You know the facts in the year and some of those names there, but 10 Bears, remarkable group, and one of the things, you know, I put on my bucket list, I love to see Morgan State bring lacrosse back.
On 1st and 10, and the Bears have some work to do, and the ball loose again on the ground. And the struggles continuing here in the second half for Morgan State, a program that has a great tradition, home of Pro Football Hall of Famers, 4 to be exact.
I thought it was 4, and you see their ball comes out, but fortunate the offensive lineman was able to jump on it. That's Tapasoa.
You go back to that opening drive to start the game.
Man, that was so long ago, Tiff. Why are you bringing up old stuff?
Hey, well, because
they're not even close to that. I'm messing with you.
I say that only because as Anthony escapes, they haven't been able to get it going really since then. They scored those 3 points. They're only of the game. And we talk about those Pro Football Hall of Famers out of Morgan State. Lynn Ford, the D.C. native, enshrined in 1976. How about Leroy Kelly, the running back, replaced Jim Brown in Cleveland back in the day. Oh, Willie Lanier, the All-American, as this pass is complete into the hands of Anthony James Jr. But second-round draft pick for the Chiefs was Willie Lanier, Super Bowl champion as well. and then Roosevelt Brown.
You better go back and give Willie Lanier a spot.
Yeah.
Now, Willie's a very intense guy in life, too. I don't know if you've been around him in his presence, but you see why he's one of the greatest inside linebackers of all time and a Morgan State legend.
Feeling the pressure, Jaden Flaker coming and well out of reach. As that one was a tough one going for it on 4th and 2, a turnover on downs. .504 remaining in this one, and North Carolina Central on top. At Hughes Stadium, not a lot of activity on the scoreboard through 3 quarters. However, North Carolina Central has put up 13 unanswered points. They lead here with just over 5 minutes to go in the MEAC opener. And Trey Oliver, the 2022 MEAC Coach of the Year, as he saw his team sweep through the Offensive and Defensive Player of the Year awards, and Khalil Baker and Davius Richard as well. But Trey Oliver taking over in 2019, returning to his alma mater as a head coach. Remember, he was on staff there as an assistant back in the 2000s, won a couple of championships when they were in D2 out of the CIAA. And now he's got a championship team out of the MEAC.
And a guy that's paid his dues, really, knows defense, but also is a fantastic special teams coordinator as well. He takes the special teams serious. And then they talked about the influence Rod Broadway had on him. Went down there to Southern and did a good job coaching under Dawson Modems, and then got named the head coach at his alma mater. And rough start that first year. He had to trim a lot of the fat, clean house a lot, but turns out to be one of the best hires that the program has made.
Here on 2nd and 3, you think about a team that was 4-8 in 2019, then COVID hit. 2021, they had a winning record at 6-5, finished 2nd in the MEAC to South Carolina State, who went on to win the Cricket Celebration Bowl. But then last year, emphatically let everybody know that this was the team to beat out of the conference. Double-digit wins for the 3rd time in school history, went 10-2. MEAC co-champs and HBCU national champions. And yeah, Trey knows something about special teams. Like, he was an All-American punter and DB. Or all CIAA, rather. The pressure coming, they get it out to Latrell Collier. Stop short on 3rd down. Elijah Williams was in on the play. We hadn't called his name a lot, as a timeout is spent by Morgan State. The first of this half by the Bears. Well, just a reminder to you folks, we've told you many times before, but we'll say it again. Duke, Florida State.
Rolling ever since, so you have to say they're back.
Mike Norvell has that group out of the capital city of Florida.
Now they beat them, I'm going to say yes.
Well.
No,
okay.
They beat them, I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
But right now, the way this college football season, they've taken care of the jobs on their schedule, had a pretty good run, and Norvell's doing a great job of coaching the Noles. Sorry, partner, I think that's what you were going to say.
It's all good. It's all good. 4th and 3 as Central going for it here. They hand it off, and there is a 1st down, and that could be the backbreaker. Gain of 5.
Trey Oliver, he's going to have some stuff to coach up here, but with his team up by 10, pretty comfortable here. Probably do a lot of running here, eat up some of this clock. Think about that ride home, and wasn't an impressive performance, but it was a winning performance.
Good teams find a way to win and get it done. North Carolina Central is less than 3 minutes away from doing so. Eric Hunter stops Mookie Collier. And we had called him Mookie before, but he really earned that nickname on national television last year in that Cricket Celebration Bowl against Jackson State. And what did you say? Say it for me.
Mookie with that stiff arm that went down in the history books there. That was a pretty good football player. He delivered that blow to as well, Silman Craig. But that showed you with North Carolina Central was not in awe of the then Jackson State team coached by Deion Sanders.
They were ranked 5th in all of FCS as Central brought home their 4th HBCU national championship. And they're looking to repeat again as champions. And you look through the road that they'll have to go through. 6 teams in the conference. You talked about these final weeks of the season, 5 to go in regular season play. What's that going to look like for Central?
It's going to be tough because, as Coach said, they're going to get everybody's best shot. And in the conference this year, when you've got a condensed schedule, most people are thinking if you lose once, that's going to be it. And, and the MEAC has made a change where there will be no co-champions. So whoever goes to the Cricket Celebration Bowl is the conference champion. And that test there, I mean, South Carolina State, they're going to give them a fight next week. Buddy Pugh's last year coaching the Bulldogs. Norfolk State, who is Norfolk State? We'll find out a lot. Howard, that game's going to be personal for Central because they tied as co-champions. I think that's probably going to be the game of the year that they've got marked on their schedule.
And then they close out the season with Delaware State at home. Minute 50 to go here. On 3rd and 6, they're coming for Davius Richard. He gets it away, throws it out of bounds. The pursuit to try to get to the quarterback as Richard wisely throws it away as E40 was in his face.
And elected to pass the football rather than run a little bit force. Morgan State to use that final timeout. One of those moments, be careful here now because you have to think Morgan should have everybody up at the line of scrimmage going for the field goal block.
Olivo, who knocked one down earlier. This one his longest attempt of the night, 41-yarder. And it is good. So adding some padding to this lead as Adrian Olivo has been a reliable leg, the senior out of Plant City, Florida, and 16 unanswered points from North Carolina Central here on the road. Smiles on the sideline for this Central group. And really, one of the things that I think Trey Oliver may have expected to see out of this group, he chatted with us, hey, they were hungry at practice. This was a group who was ready to play, thought he would see their best game of the season, not because it was against Morgan State or the MEAC opener, but the effort that they showed in practice. But what's difficult sometimes, Jay, and you know this, having an undefeated season, how do you stay locked in?
Yeah. How do you not read the headlines, not start to believe the hype, as my old coach, Denny Green, used to say. And, the good thing about this team, they've been tested, so they haven't been able to just beat everybody. They had those come-from-behind victories, which show they have the mettle to pull some games out. But I think
kicking team, number 59. The ball be placed at the 35-yard line. First down, Morgan State.
But I think that the key for them is they got a taste of it. They took a big bite last year. It's like having a good burger. Once you had a good burger, you're going to crave that next good burger for the rest of your life, trying to get that next taste. And they want it. They're hungry. And they found a way, and that's team football. When the offense doesn't have it going, defense pick them up, and the defense did phenomenal tonight.
After that opening field goal from Morgan State, they have shut out the Bears as that pass is complete to DJ Hamler. And for Morgan State, you look on the other side and you ask the question, well, where does Morgan State go from here? They knew that they would be tested tonight, but what do they draw from this game?
They got to grow up. You know, they're a young team. We talked about their roster. They're extremely young on both sides of the ball. And with young teams, they can do some things that are going to look really good, and then they can do some things that are going to look really bad. And so the learning curve is still there, but physically they've proven they can play with some of the best teams out there that they'll see on their schedule. But when are they going to have the ability to put it all together?
You're on the carry. There's J.J. Davis, and Davis across midfield. Ball be spotted about the 46-yard line. We're moving forward in MEAC play. The challenge is trying to put up more points offensively for the Bears. Where's that going to come from? We saw Dominique Anthony have moments. A tremendous catch made by Anthony James Jr. As you mentioned, there's some pieces there. Damon Wilson said, hey, when I took over for this job, I felt like I could build Morgan State back into a powerhouse program.
And I agree. I think it's one of those schools that's been a diamond in the rough for a long time. And it seems like they're going to try and get this together. Build on the foundation, doing a good job in recruiting. And that's the benefit of having a young roster. You know, you almost say, get me now, because in a year or two, it's going to be tougher to beat them. And I think for them, something they have to learn to do is, like, their defense plays really good, but you hate to say this, if the defense doesn't create turnovers, can they win football games? You know, when they got off to the early start, I think the first game of the year when they pulled off the upset, they had 5 turnovers against Richmond, and they came back against Akron and came up with another 4. And then when they had to play Towson, they couldn't get those turnovers, and then teams are realizing protect the football against Morgan State.
A deep shot taken and into the hands of Awumi. Touchdown, a 40-yarder. 33 seconds left on the clock. And Morgan State says we're not done yet.
There's a pretty ball here and a good job getting behind the defender. And these are some throws earlier where Anthony overthrew him, his receiver, but not this time. Nicely thrown ball, way to step up and deliver the ball accurately for the touchdown score.
Joseph Awumi, his first touchdown of the season. And the junior out of Springdale, Maryland, puts the Bears right back in it. The extra point is good by Leary. You have to think what's running through the mind of Trey Oliver right now, because you know an onside kick is coming.
Absolutely. It puts you on the hot seat a little bit. And that's why you have to practice all parts of the game you're getting ready to walk away with. They score quick, and now you're relying upon your special teams to make a kick recovery.
That's an area where Damon Wilson wasn't necessarily pleased with that unit. Well, he'll need them to step up in this moment to try to recover an onside kick and give them one more shot. If the Bears can get it back and bring their offense back onto the field. Shane Messenger, the true freshman. Here we go. Oh, that one was long and out of bounds. And not the result that Damon Wilson would have wanted on the onside kick attempt.
trying to kick the top of the ball, and he just didn't get the bounce. Didn't give an opportunity to make a little bunny hop.
Get areas of improvement for Damon Wilson's team. Meanwhile, Walker Harris back on the field and Trey Oliver is confused as we are up here where it looks to be Morgan State, the kicking team, back on the field after it went out of bounds. So that's a penalty against Morgan State on the kickoff, and Central should have it, but we're being told that Central called a timeout on the field. So another try at it here. Good hop. And once more goes out of bounds. Well, a little bit better the second time around for.
Got the hop, but still just a little bit too much velocity. It's going so fast, you're not giving your guys an opportunity to get 10 yards down the field a little bit. So something got to work on a little bit. Just a freshman is Messenger, the kicker. Yeah, if they would have got that onside kick, I think Trey Oliver might have lost his cool.
In victory formation for North Carolina Central. Morgan State out of timeouts, and
so let me take the call.
No hope there.
Let me take the call.
Okay.
One knee, and it's on the homecoming, y'all. We're going down to HU. See you on Saturday. See you tomorrow for Black College Live for Yard Fest.
The time hasn't even expired here yet, partner, and you're already
it's time for the granddaddy of them all when you talk about HBCU homecomings.
Layside, how about the champs of HBCU football in Division I, North Carolina Central? They're looking to repeat, and they're able to hold off Morgan State 16-10, the final from Baltimore. Jay, your final thoughts of this one?
It was going to be a tough one. Morgan State was more than game. The defense is as good as advertised. They can be opportunistic there. They got some things they have to figure out on the offense side of the ball, but Central can expect challenges like this on a weekly basis. They're going to see everybody's best shot in this sprint to the Cricket Celebration Bowl.
That's exactly where North Carolina Central wants to head. Coming up in December, a lot of football still left to be played, but Morgan State on the field for the first time in 2 weeks, and they put up a fight but just couldn't put up enough points against the reigning champs as North Carolina Central got timely plays when needed, turnovers turned into touchdowns, and a 16-10 decision on the road for North Carolina Central. For Jay Walker, the rest of our great ESPN crew, I'm Tiffany Green Sam. We out from Baltimore.